Have you been thinking about moving to Merida, Mexico, but you're not entirely sure which part of town you should be looking at? Whether you're relocating full-time, looking for a rental property, or just want to split your time and live that snowbird life.
Or an Airbnb.
That's a rental, no? Have you been thinking about moving to Merida, Mexico, but you're not sure which part of town is right for you? Whether you're looking for a full-time relocation, a rental property, or maybe you want to live that snowbird life and come here half-time to escape the winter? Today, we're going through all of Merida proper to explain where the pros of each neighborhood, the cons of each neighborhood, and where each type of buyer might find their best bet.
Guys, welcome to our new real estate office, our new recording studio, and most important, welcome to this brand new video named Where to Live in Merida.
Let's check it out. Hey everyone, it's meghan.noe Yucatan, living your trusted bilingual realtors down here in Merida, Yucatan, Mexico.
Okay guys, we are here to describe you and help you with a video that was so requested by a lot of subscribers in our YouTube channel and different social media platforms that we use about we really need the layout, the proper layout of Merida in order to understand the geography and what is all this about, because as you viewer that are watching us on the screen, we took the decision to relocate full-time in this place, and we wished back in the day that someone shared this information with us to take
a better educated decision when it came to purchasing real estate.
Yeah, because we had to find all this stuff out by ourselves back in the day.
And there's something to be said for lived experiences and trial and error, but I think hitting the ground with a little bit more insider knowledge and intel can be very valuable, and that's what we're here to do, add value for our clients. So speaking of that, if you are new to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can keep up to date on all of our postings every week and inform yourself a little bit more about everything that Merida has to offer and why it's becoming one of the hottest locations for North Americans to relocate and invest. There's a huge surge in popularity and in growth in this zone, and we're here to help you navigate the system and find your dream property.
I am the Mexican insider, guys.
Ain't that the truth? Anyways, so today, let's not further ado, let's dive into the lay of the land here in Merida. And it makes sense to start off with Centro.
Colorful colonial homes, cafes, mezcalerias, bars, the new Merida Central Park. This is the epicenter of art and culture inside the city. It's the oldest area of the city because this is the first place that got settled down by
the Spaniards. Sorry. But yeah, Centro is the heart of the city. It has the most action, the most culture, the most things to do, I would say. But along with that hustle and bustle comes a certain lifestyle that maybe isn't for everyone. And the thing worth mentioning is that there's a certain style to the design of homes in Centro that is very different from what you might be accustomed to where you come from. Almost all of the properties here are shotgun style, long and narrow properties. Now, there are amazing things that can be done on the design front to make these properties gorgeous, functional, tons of light, tons of air.
A lot of lots look like this.
Yeah, they're
style.
Rectangular. And they can be as narrow as 3 meters across. It's tight. There is now a new regulation in place where the minimum width is now 7 meters, but so many properties existed prior to that regulation being set. So there are some out there that are very tight on the width side of things, but can be very long. So from an architectural standpoint, this is really cool. It involves a lot of creativity, and man, do the design firms here have that in spades on how to maximize a narrow property in terms of use of space. But it is a certain type of person that is comfortable living in a narrow space. That said, if you have 5 meters width up to 10 meters width, it's perfect. Our house is actually 8 meters wide, and I would have never guessed that. Just the way that everything is laid out, there's tons of light and air, and well, it's a very clever design. I'm not into showing our house, but it just goes to say that you don't need to be nervous about buying a property that is narrow. It's a certain lifestyle choice that happens here with indoor-outdoor living.
We have to say that architects are very smart when they redesign houses. Now let's talk about the neighborhoods of Merida Centro.
Yes, so for the most part, when people are looking online at these glorious renovated houses in the colonial style, etc., they are looking at a few particular neighborhoods which have already been fully gentrified, fully renewed, etc. These would be places like Santa Lucia, Santa Ana, Santiago, although they were a little bit later to the party.
Those three neighborhoods have a different ticket. They are more expensive. There's more other neighborhoods that we can recommend you guys that are a lot of them upcoming neighborhoods.
So in these zones, you will find mostly already completely renovated properties, and they're gorgeous and they're expansive, and there's some amazing things to be found there, but they are big ticket items. And I think, you know, the average sale price in those zones now is probably over 400,000 USD.
Yeah. Or more.
And buying something that still needs renovation there, you're also still paying a premium, because it's very well known that, you know, the rental businesses in those zones can warrant a higher price point. And I don't know, it's just a very desirable area of town. You are close to the action, you are close to the modern conveniences and cultural parts of life. So yeah, you're going to pay a hefty fee. That said, there are other areas still in Centro that are lesser known, maybe a little bit lesser developed, a little bit less trendy at this point, but at this point is the operative term here. The gentrification is spreading wildly. And I don't mean gentrification in a negative way at all. I mean the modernization, more so. Not taking away any of the charm or the traditional ways of life. Almost every barrio in town has their own centro mercado, and that is the hub of each zone. A lot of them have parks, and neighbors still just hang out in the street, and it's very, very charming. But to have a cool shop nearby, or to have a cool bar, restaurant, etc., that's starting to happen in other parts of town. So for example, on the east side of La Plancha, East La Plancha as Noe has coined it. I mean, I think you know, if you watch our videos, what is La Plancha? It is Merida's Central Park, and it is aligned perpendicularly with the Calle 47, which is the restaurant row. And so if you continue all the way down restaurant row and you cross the park, you are then on the east side of it, and there's neighborhoods on that side.
I have to say, those projects are new projects. They recently launched. All the Gourmet Street, the 47 and the Plancha are literally
a year and a half old.
Yeah,
so with that year and a half, a lot of advancement has happened in the neighborhoods to the east, and there's still a lot of very, very charming and cute pockets there where you can get a fixer-upper for around that 2 million peso mark.
But we have to say that the Parque La Plancha, when it got launched, all the return of investment in those houses are in that area skyrocket. So that's another premium area we can talk about. Is right now La Plancha, close to 47 that you can see in this screen, the Gourmet Street. This is right now a premium area because of all the action, because of all the bars and stuff you can do there.
Yes, there are fixer-uppers that I'm aware of there that are in the 5-6 million peso range as well, because people are prospecting that zone is worth more than, I don't know, Santa Ana. Is that accurate? I don't know, time will tell. But yeah, for a larger property, you can still spend a lot on a complete tear-down fixer-upper type property there, but there are still some bargains to be found, particularly if you move to the Lourdes industrial side, Chenbech, although it's hard to find a property in Chenbech, it's a good marker, Chuminopolis, San Cristobal, which is not spoken about enough in my opinion. It's one of the most historic neighborhoods of the city and still has a super wonderful residential vibe. Very old school Merida lifestyle happening there, which personally I love. Also Lourdes, we recently just posted a video of an amazing house, which is a great value in the Lourdes neighborhood, but all the upgrades have already been done for you. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure to check this one out.
We can keep talking about other areas in Centro, guys. Ermita. Ermita is another southwest charming neighborhood that really looks like San Miguel de Allende in a lot of their streets. In a lot of its streets has also a lot of cultural action, just such as the Day of the Dead. Also this activity where Merida in the center, they close the streets so people can ride bikes and run or use rollerblades. Ermita is part of that too, you know. So is this very large racetrack where Ermita has also its own main square. A beautiful one with that is by walk from it's a small neighborhood, but very charming. But like Megan said, it keeps growing. It keeps growing, the modernization.
San Sebastian and San Juan, which are sort of, and San Cristobal, which sort of encapsulate Ermita, the values in those zones continue to go up because of Ermita. What Noe didn't mention there is that it has its own designation as a pueblo mágico or a barrio mágico, because it's not a town, it's a neighborhood. And yes, it is absolutely stunning. One of the most iconic neighborhoods in town, and certainly a must-see if you're visiting. So mark that down. Ermita, the Hermit. Love it.
And also, guys, we can talk about something very important, which is the heart of Centro. The heart is this massive cathedral in the middle of Merida Centro, which has also a lot of bars, a lot of action, but I will say that's the hustle and bustle area. Because why? Because there's a lot of commercial spots, like a lot of them. There's this area named San Benito, the market, and also Lucas de Galvez. So that area is that way. It's a massive market with a lot of commercial spots around. People are walking. There's a lot of crowd in that area. It's not residential. It's commercial. And just wanted to let you know that, because we want to really make you understand how all this Merida Centro is all about.
Yeah, I think the only neighborhood we didn't mention there is Mejorada. That is also adjacent to Parque La Plancha, an amazing part of town. Certainly somewhere where the popularity is growing, but potentially that's another area that can be explored. That said, these are not million peso properties anymore, guys. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your financial planning for your investment or your new home.
Okay, guys, now we're gonna talk a little bit more about something that no one talks about in any YouTube video. No one talks about this. And it's all these neighborhoods adjacent to Centro, adjacent to the west, to the north, and to the east.
The first one we'll talk about is, it's difficult to give it a proper name, but it's the zone around Itzaes Avenue, which is a major artery for the city. And
that's West-Centro.
And it's sort of bumping up against the Santiago neighborhood. And there's still many, many affordable fixer-upper properties there, and still a wonderful residential feel. But the cool factor of Santiago is starting to spill over. You're seeing properties get revived and looking beautiful, and you're seeing more and more rental properties on the market, families moving in and living there, and a revival basically of that zone. What's so great about Itzaes? Connectivity and access.
Access to the airport, very easy to get in there. Also, there's these two landmarks that are very cool to visit. One is the zoo that you can see here in this map. It's such a nice attraction for everyone. And also Parque La Paz. Parque La Paz is such a nice cultural area that no one talks about. I don't know why, because most of the time people just focus on sorry for the Mexican accent, focus only in this part of Centro, you know. So yeah, Parque La Paz is such a good thing. And also there's very easy access to go to the beaches on that side, on the west side. So like
grocery stores, easy commercial conveniences all along Itzaes Avenue. And so it's a wonderful place to live more permanently because it has all those everyday conveniences very close by. And like Noe said, the zoo and Parque La Paz is a wonderful place to stroll, run, all the things that you would do in Parque La Plancha if you lived closer to that. You can do it over on that side in the Centennial Zoo Park area.
Yeah. And now, guys, we're moving to the northwest Centro Adjacent. And one of them is one of the favorite ones of Megan, because there's a slow food market that happens in that area. And this neighborhood is named Garcia Gineres.
You may have heard of this one because, man, do they have some stunning examples of colonial architecture and design. What's interesting about the zones of Garcia Gineres and going further north is the shape of the lots changes, and so does the width of the streets. Everything gets a little bit more spacious, a little bit more luxurious, including double-laned roads, etc. So more like boulevards, and very mature trees, lots of shade, and just larger and different layouts of the lots. So Garcia Gineres is a very attractive place for foreigners because the houses and the way that they're laid out is more similar to what people are accustomed to if they're coming from Canada or the USA. You can have a front yard, for example, and your house isn't necessarily so narrow in the front going straight back. You could have more of a expansive or a U-shaped house around a central courtyard. These types of things exist there. Now, what's interesting about Garcia Gineres is there is this mix of colonial designed, and those are some absolutely incredible properties that would go for, I don't know, potentially millions of dollars because they're kind of priceless. And then also sort of mid-century 70s type houses, which are cool in their very own way. And I can always envision taking on one of those. Revival projects would be so fun to do. Completely different than what people envision when they think of Merida, but actually, as you go a little bit further north, there's so many great examples of mid-century modern architecture and mid-century modern design.
I love that area because it has Parque Las Americas, guys. And as you know, we have 3 beautiful dogs, and it's a place that I was used to go a lot to walk with them.
It's a great park.
It has this massive fountain that has like serpents and Mayan idols in there. It's stunning.
Very, very mature trees, so lots of shade. And yeah, it's just a great asset to that neighborhood.
There's a lot of high-end hotels in that area too.
That's true. Boutique hotels.
And also, and we started with this, the slow food market. A video of that is coming soon. But
every Saturday morning, it pops up, and lots of local vendors of fruits and vegetables, baked goods, fermented things, kombucha, plants, etc.
Charcuterie.
Yeah, that's true. Fresh eggs, like, I don't know, farmers stuff is cool. You pay a premium. Don't expect this one to be cheap, but it is a lot of fun. And oh, the baked goods.
Oh, coffee shops also.
Shout out to Mano Bakery.
Oh yeah.
Those espresso brownies, they changed my life.
Yeah, it's such a nice place, guys. Such a nice place.
Yeah.
And with a lot of vendors that actually are expats and also locals. Locals from farms and stuff. So it's a very good combination of locals and expats.
It's a wonderful way to spend a Saturday morning, and then you're there in Garcia Gineres. And you're very close to Paseo Montejo as well, so you can easily go find a nice place for brunch or lunch afterwards. Yeah, it's a good Saturday activity.
Yeah. And that's another topic here. There's a lot of fixer-uppers here. I know you guys that are watching this video. A lot of you guys are asking, like, how much money should I spend on a fixer-upper to live the Merida Central life? And we are talking about is around 100,000 USD at least. Minimum, just buying a fixer-upper.
We have
a small one, not even medium. It's a small to medium. And also...
And in a state of ruin. Let's be clear about this, okay? The days of $50,000 properties, those days are over. They passed. Merida... how do I explain this without using the word gentrification? It's a hot topic. But, you know, as a place becomes more popular, more desirable, prices do increase. And while there are still incredible values to be found here in Merida and in Yucatan in general, the days of $50,000 properties, $20,000 properties, those days are gone, my friends. So let's be realistic. You know that we always sort of shoot it straight with you. We're not here to sugarcoat anything or make people think that they can live on a shoestring budget in Merida. It is one of the more expensive zones of Mexico, but with that you have an amazing lifestyle, amazing safety and security, and you know, it's just a great place to be. However, if we're being realistic about buying a fixer-upper, because this is a topic that we constantly get contacted about, we're looking at a minimum of 2 million pesos for, as Noe said, a small, completely in need of complete renovation property. 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, those are the normal prices now, whereas maybe 5 years ago you could get them under 1 million pesos. I'm sorry to say, those days are over. But for you investors, it's still early enough in the life cycle of the place that it is still a great moment to buy a piece of property, even just to sit on it for a few years and reap the benefits of that. That said, those who do the work reap the financial rewards. So if it's in your budget, you should absolutely renovate that property and make something beautiful, and then either use it as a rental property or put it back on the market and do a little flip.
But the story doesn't end up there, guys. It's okay, you buy the fixer-upper, 100,000 USD. How much the project for fixing that place cost?
Well, it's based on price per square meter, and it can vary a lot based on the finishing choices you make and the design choices you make. But a rough estimate for price per square meter of construction is something in the neighborhood of 17,000 pesos per square meter. Is that right?
Yeah, so the story doesn't end up there. Okay, you buy the fixer-upper at least 100,000 USD for a tiny cute,
And that's a word that only we use.
for a small property, not even a big one. So we will talk further. Some pockets of Centro that we know. If you contact us, we know where they are. Where
there's still a good deal to be found.
There's still, yeah. But in general, a project for fixing a place will cost minimum another 100,000 USD. So we're talking about the fixer-upper idea is at least a minimum of 200,000 USD or more.
Minimum. That is the bare minimum. Doing a very, let's call it rustic, well, like this place. We actually owe you the final reveal video of the Merida makeover so you can see what has become of this construction project. That will be coming soon. But this was a shoestring budget and it turned out very cute, but there's always something that comes up in the construction that is unexpected, and there's a lot of delays, let's put it that way. So you also need to be ready, to be resilient, to roll up your sleeves, to do the hard work. And if you want to do something on a shoestring budget, it can be done, but it's a certain style, you know? You're not going to be having tile and marble everywhere. It's definitely going to be more of the polished concrete, more of the minimalist Merida style, which, you know, it's nothing to scoff at. There's some beautiful properties that way, but let's just keep it real. There is, a tiny budget is going to tie your hands a little bit in what you can do here. And we just want to be really realistic with you guys. The bigger your budget when it comes to a renovation project, the better, because there's always going to be something unexpected that happens along the way.
And also hiring a reliable architect or firm.
This is key.
Because we've seen a lot of guys that they try to get involved in the fixer-upper thing, and they end up hiring people, I don't know from where, and projects are left halfway. So we have a great architect. We have the contact of a curated list of staff of good architects. Only if you buy from us, obviously. But yeah, this is what we can talk about fixer-uppers in Merida. Okay, guys, we continue with the Centro Adjacent neighborhoods or pockets. And sorry to insist a lot on this, that no one talks about in the social media or YouTube.
They haven't caught on fully yet, which is exactly what you want in an investment area. You want to get there before everybody's already hyping it up. So that would take us to the areas of Buenavista and Chuburna de Hidalgo, pardon. So these are two neighborhoods that are running sort of parallel to each other as you exit Centro, you exit Garcia Gineres. And man, these are a wonderful place to live. In terms of people looking for walkability, Garcia Gineres has it, but Chuburna de Hidalgo has it more. I would argue
we
more.
Thought the same. Yeah.
Why? Because it has the best, most authentic, in my opinion, and underrated Central Mercado, where on Sundays they have a pop-up tianguis. If you've been to Mexico City, you know the tianguis culture is strong.
Flea market.
Yeah, it's essentially a pop-up flea market. They have a pop-up plant market. The restaurants there are going off on a Sunday. They have live
plants,
music,
relics, vintage stuff.
Yeah, and this area is purely residential, has all the pharmacies, hardware stores, grocery stores, very close by, fresh fruits and vegetables, fresh carne, meat, whatever you want, it's there in the market. And if you haven't seen yet our video about the Livenza project,
the apartments for 100 USD, guys.
There is no better property investment right now, today, in Merida proper than this offering. So make sure to watch that video for sure. For investors, there is no better. Well, I can't say enough about Livenza, but that's another topic. What Livenza is an example of, though, is that we're at this moment now where multifamily residential is starting to put a footprint into this neighborhood. And for renters, the first thing we always hear is, I want to be able to walk to get my fresh fruit juice. I want to be able to get my groceries by walking. They don't want to drive anywhere because they're renting, they're not going to buy a car, and they're not going to rent a car. It's understandable. So Chuburna de Hidalgo, and in particular, these new multifamily projects that we're representing, they are perfect for those looking to buy something to use as a rental property or to use half the year themselves, because what's better than being able to walk a couple blocks to one of the most charming Merida experiences? Yeah.
Now it's time to talk about a very popular area nowadays, and it's the modern part of Merida. which is North Merida. Okay, and a lot of guys, and you can see it in this map. Everyone talks about the golden triangle of Merida that you can see here. Yeah, so there's literally a lot of North Meridas, I will say. A lot of
there's a lot of confusion about North Merida because people classify it differently.
North Merida is this modern area with big box stores, with restaurant chains, with beautiful shopping malls. And
apartment buildings, legitimate apartment buildings, legitimate townhouses. Multifamily living has already happened in North Merida, as well as privadas in North Merida, and as well as standalone homes. So there's a good mix to the type of properties that
even
exist
sky
in North
rises.
Merida. Yeah, there's starting to be even some very tall buildings.
So yeah, it's a very interesting area, guys. It's an area where you want all that westernized lifestyle. I know a lot of clients are coming to Mexico for experiencing the Mexican life, just to get along with the culture. There's some other guys that you say, I want more modernity, I want more walkability, whatever. So
I want sushi.
Yeah. So the truth is that North Merida has different sections, and we can, as you can see in this map, there's this North Merida that is inside the city. When I say inside the city, is because it's inside the ring-shaped highway named Periférico that you can see here. And in that area, we can name a bunch of neighborhoods where there's a lot of action going on.
And we have some great property options inside these neighborhoods as well. So the one that became popular quickest, I would say, was Alta Brisa. And it's developed, the price points are probably around, I don't want to misspeak, but I would say you're going to need probably at least 4 million to get in Alta Brisa, at least.
Yeah, you're paying for more reliable.
4 million pesos. Don't get scared.
You're paying for more reliable services and
modern conveniences, and larger sized properties. That's true. There's a little bit more of an expanse in the way that things are done in North Merida. Even the apartments are probably a little bit bigger. That said, there's no apartments in Centro, so don't need to worry about that. So after Alta Brisa, you have Montebello, you have Monte Carlo, you have Montes de Ame, a great one. We have a project coming to market in Montes de Ame that it might rival Livenza in terms of desirability, but completely different lifestyles. If you want to feel more part of Mexican culture, Livenza is the one for you. If you want to have a little bit of a chicer, more modern lifestyle, Montes de Ame, second to none. So those are some of the neighborhoods that are super popular and have some really, really beautiful offerings in terms of chic, modern, affordable still, great apartments for the most part, I would say, is what's happening in that zone at this point. Obviously there are houses as well, but you know that houses are one-off purchases. There is only one, and they can vary greatly in terms of size, scale, layouts, and the year that they were built in. Yeah. But there's not very much colonial detailing happening in that zone of the city. It was something that developed probably in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, and is being revitalized now with more multifamily living in mind, more affordability in mind. And yeah, it's just a completely different part and a different feel than Centro and those areas that have more of a traditional feel.
Now we can talk about the North Merida after Periférico.
This is where things get interesting.
Yeah, this is this new former rural area that now is switching into modernity. And we can say the growth is happening very, very fast, guys.
Very popular with North American buyers and Mexican buyers from other parts of Mexico as well. These are great, affordable family homes, more or less. There are also really chic and beautiful townhome offerings. And we're talking about here, Temazon Norte is a perfect example. On the other side of the highway, you have Zitzia.
Sitia. Yeah, on the other side of the highway, there's Sitia, another area. That's technically north, northwest Merida after Periférico, and it's even more affordable than Temozon Norte. And there's a lot of universities on that side. So for students, for
the parents of students,
it's very convenient. Yeah. And yeah, there's in both areas, Temozon Norte and Sitia, there's a lot of apartments, a lot of townhouses, houses, etc., etc., etc.
I will say there's two distinct buyer profiles in these zones of the city. Those who want to be able to buy a house that they will live in full-time or most of the time, outright, in cash, really beautiful, chic, modern design, modern Merida design, you know what I'm talking about? Nara is a perfect example of this type of property. Very well thought out layout, and the perfect blank canvas for someone to create an absolutely stunning home. And then the other signature buyer in the zone is somebody that's looking for an investment. And so
City is for investors.
He likes to just whisper in the background. Zitia is a great option for this. I mean, both sides are, depending on your budget. Zitia is even more affordable than what's going on in Temozon Norte in general. And for somebody that's looking for an accessible price point for an apartment that could be then turned around and rented out to students, you cannot beat some of the projects that we have going on over there. You're getting apartments for less than 100,000 USD.
Yeah, less than 100,000 USD. And now talking about the highlights of this areas that are beyond Periférico, the circle-shaped highway, we can find Plaza La Isla, the island shopping mall, which has a humongous lake in there where people are doing a lot of activities. And it's a beautiful, beautiful shopping mall. So that's one of the landmarks of that area. And now, guys, we will continue with what we name the Merida's suburbs, full of very nice privadas. Privadas is a word in Spanish that means that is a master plan community with very nice amenities inside. You pay an HOA, and there's a number of houses inside where everyone lives there. It's
a gated community, but without any pretension in the word of gated community. It's just the way that communities get built here. Is inside a walled perimeter with shared amenities, usually really lovely ones like, clubhouses and beautiful pools and amazing landscaping and this type of stuff. And yes, you're part of a homeowners association, and yeah, the growth in the zones such as Concal and Cholul in recent years has just been astronomical. The fact that you can get standalone homes for under $200,000 and be free of a mortgage, live your life peacefully, surrounded by nature, inside a wonderful, quiet, controlled environment is really attractive to people, and it's easy to understand why.
Yeah, guys, Cholul is an area that started before Concal. You can see it in this map. And Cholul has a little bit more higher prices than Concal. Concal right now is the booming area. Appeared after Cholul, and you can find there a lot of privadas. It's more affordable than Cholul, and it's the same idea. It's all these privadas with a lot of amenities where people just live happily. We can mention that the HOAs are no more than
most expensive we've ever seen was like maybe close to 200, but that was a very, very luxurious place with a lot going on the amenities front. I think the one thing I want to highlight here is that...
When we say amenities, our pool, paddle courts, pet areas,
soccer field,
like
pet parks, walking paths, biking paths. Depends on which privada we're talking about. It varies from place to place. So when we have our initial conversation about what you're looking for, you can run us through exactly which amenities are most important to you, and we can narrow things that way. But the point that I wanted to make is that realistically, I think a budget of $200,000 US is what you need to purchase the house and set it up in a good way. In Concal, if you have more funds than that for doing all the bells and whistles on your house, great. $225 all in. It's going to be a phenomenal house with everything you could ever dream of wanting, and you're living in paradise. The challenge now these days is somebody trying to get one of these houses at 150,000 USD. that is a challenge. Yes, you can purchase the house for that price, but we've mentioned in a lot of other videos, and this is again, just shooting it straight with you, that a lot of developers are delivering the house as a basic shell property, meaning the structures are there, the mechanical and electrical is there, but there's a lot of additional work that will need to be done to set up your household in the way that you're accustomed to living in the United States or in Canada or in Europe. So
we're talking about upgrades that you will have to make in your place, such as installing ACs, ceiling fans, water softener, reverse osmosis water filtration, cabinetry, closets, tempered glass, etc. And yeah, that bill can be a bill between 30,000 USD to 50,000 USD. Normal, it ranges.
We're talking about 3-bedroom houses here though. These are not little houses by any means. If you are happy with a 2-bedroom house, then certainly we have options that can work under 200,000 USD. But for a 3-bedroom house, which is often what people come to us looking for in these neighborhoods, realistically, a budget of $150,000 probably isn't going to get it done anymore. Not all in, because you have to consider that there's also going to be closing costs on top of the purchase price, and then you have to set up your household.
Closing costs ranges from 6.5 to 8% of the price of the house. So just take your notes, guys, on how things work down here.
Not to scare you off at all, but we do like to be very honest and transparent about all of the costs that are involved in setting up a household. It's great that you can be able to buy the house at a certain price, but realistically, there's some additional spend that will need to happen after the fact in order for you to live comfortably and happily.
Okay, guys, and now we go to this area named Merida-Progeso Highway, when there's a bunch of also high-end privadas, more expensive than the previous North Merida neighborhoods we talk about.
A little bit more shishi, I think.
Yeah, it's this area when there's golf courses, houses are humongous.
It's a little bit more of the gated community that you may be familiar with in areas like, I don't know, Connecticut, or it's more of a country club type of vibe. And so if that's your cup of tea, lots of good options off of the Merida-Progeso Highway.
Obviously, the prices are more expensive, HOA is more expensive, and yeah, so we have a bunch of projects that we represent in there also, as well in all the areas we explained previously. And now if we continue driving to the beach area, we have to remember that Merida, the city, to the beach area, technically is a 25-minute drive, all right?
From Harbor Mall, that's a good lookout point. Go do a map here. There's Harbor Mall, there's the beach. It's a 25-minute drive, straight shot on a brand new, smooth highway.
There's a lot of beach towns in Merida, where obviously the most most known is Progreso. It's a nice area, industrial, we have to say. It has a nice section that is a touristic section, because you know, there's a big pier, one of the biggest ones all over the world, and there's a lot of cruise ships there. It's called the Malecon, that area. And yeah, so but besides that, to the east and to the west, there's a number of beach towns where there's a lot of real estate action too. We will keep this information for episode number 2, that will be where to live in Merida. Episode 2, the beach towns.
Beach life.
Beach life, yeah. So
there's a lot to cover there. Every single town has its own pros and cons, its own vibe, and as Noe said, there's a lot of towns there.
The beach life is completely different from a city life in Merida, guys.
I'm sure both are great. In an ideal world, you can own a property in town and one at the beach as well. That's the Meridino way of life.
We can compare this layout or geography, kind of what happens in
New York, when people spend their weekends at the Hamptons. That is how the Yucatecans like to live their summers as well. It's Monday to Thursday or Monday to Friday in the city, and heading out to the beach where they have a little house or a big house that they enjoy with their family all weekend long. It's a very similar lifestyle to what goes on in New York with the Hamptons and Manhattan.
Okay, guys, so I just want to know that if this information was helpful for you, it's based on a lot of questions that viewers ask us all the time. And I just want to add something to conclude here. Merida is flat. There's no mountains here. So that's important to know. And we represent properties all over these areas that we just talked about.
Yes. We have the inside track on every single area of town. We know what the best options are there. So if you've been sort of humming and hawing over your options, we hope this video was helpful in helping you narrow down your options. And for those who are just getting a fresh look at Merida, I hope it gave you a little bit of an understanding of the geography, the layout of everything, and how life is in each different area of town.
Okay guys, we are Meghan.noe, Yucatan living, your trusted bilingual realtors in Merida, Yucatan, Mexico.
I think that's it for today. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and until next time, hasta luego.
Hasta luego guys, see you later.
Cuídate.
Bye.